Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Escape Gaming's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Drow Ranger.
Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Mirana.
Dire team pick.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the WCA European Qualifiers. We are here with our upper bracket in our first best of 5 series. We're about to get underway. Thank you so much for joining us here on Moon Deck TV. It's an absolute pleasure to cast you again here. What's today? Tuesday. Beautiful Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Mark. Joining me today, as always, is Purge. Kevin, how you doing today for our first best of 5?
Escape Gaming's turn to pick.
Oracle.
Dire team ban.
Yeah, this is, they've been using 3-3, I think, for a while now, so they've actually had this roster last time I casted them, I believe, with the exception of Pile I Die, obviously, so that's the one interesting thing I'm kind of looking forward to, but obviously this is the best of 5 series like you talked about. We don't get to see these very often, but, I mean, because they're usually for the grand finals, right? Almost always played in the grand finals, but never played in the upper bracket finals or lower bracket finals. I can't think of a tournament that does this. It is. Sometimes, if they can go the full distance, then it's always a lot of fun. But that's the problem, is that some of them end up going maybe just the 3 games, and we'll see if that's going to be the case. I feel like these are probably 2 very even teams. Kaipi, of course, not making it through to the qualifiers to TI6, so Escape Gaming, of course, making it through the qualifiers through the wild card, and not quite doing the best on the main stage, but still advancing as we get into this game. Before we get any further, of course, make sure you guys check out betway.com. Of course, you can get a free $5 bet by using the banner below. Of course, you have to be 18 years of age and older to be playing on betway.com, and you have to be in a country that's licensed for betting. So, with that underway, we have KP picking it from Ronda the Elder Titan. Escape will go for the Drow Ranger, the Oracle. Some pretty solid picks, pretty standard stuff. We've seen a lot of this, I feel like, for the most part, these past couple of days. Purge.
Beastmaster.
Escape Gaming's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5.
Admiral Conker.
Dire team pick.
The one thing I like about whenever I watch KP or Kaipi is Well, really, any Bamboo team is whenever he plays off lane. I mean, this is a guy you've played with, obviously, and you know a lot about, but, I mean, he's done some ridiculous plays in the past. I feel like Beastmaster's maybe not the best hero for him if he does play in the off lane. I feel like Bamboo plays are made when he has... What's the word I'm looking for? Just crazier heroes, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Escape Gaming's turn to pick.
I mean, it feels like that's almost like you throw the Beastmaster into a jungle and you just, all right, well, let's get level 6 as quickly as possible, rotate, go for a gank, because you don't want to deal with a Drought Oracle lane, almost, is kind of how it feels. I imagine he'll be using the hard camp in the side lane at the very least. What's the draft we saw the other day? I thought it was like, oh, RMN was playing the Elder Titan. I can't remember who else they had in that lane, but they were going off at the beginning of the game. They were just finding kill after kill for him. He was using his Astral Spirit so well and finding plenty of plus damage from it too. It was actually insane to watch, but... yeah.
Timber saw.
Dire team ban.
Yeah. I think so. The Drow Ranger, Oracle, Kunkka could be a try lane. You could send a hero down with the Timbersaw if you'd like, but just good rotating duo, the Kunkka and the Oracle, I think should be finding kills early on in the game. For their last pick, it theoretically should be mid. I mean, they'll probably do escape. Drow Rangers could be playing the same. But by the way, I haven't pointed this out yet. This is very important. Limp is going to be standing in. Oh god, now I'm drawing a blank. Quick though. Yes, I saw. Well, actually, no, wait, go ahead. Okay.
10 seconds remaining.
No.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Before Complexity, which was, I think about a year ago, roughly this time. Yeah, so that was the change that happened. So they've been on the team for pretty much a whole year. Limp's been on Complexity for pretty much the entire year. So something that's interesting, like you said, they've never stood in for anybody. I don't think, like you said, anybody from Complexity has stood in for anybody. But that's why I found it interesting when I first heard the news that Limp would stand in for Qualifier. But so now he's going to be off of Complexity, which I find very interesting. And that's kind of crazy. It's not surprising. A lot of people have been telling me that Swindles and Z-Freak will probably stay together, but I honestly have no idea, so who knows.
5 seconds.
Anyways,
Before you read
last
chat
pick.
and complain, by the way, I didn't have my open mic on until now.
Oh, no.
All my smart drafting things, no. It's okay, I barely said anything. Limp is really good, though. I really respect him a lot as a player. I think he'll... I don't know, who knows, maybe they're actually genuinely thinking about roster swap. I think Quake was also amazing, so it's not really a player that's worth swapping out. Oh.
Well, Sidra tweeted, he's like, well, Quake was away. I think he said something specific about it, but I barely saw the tweet. I was like looking at it for half a
What if
second.
he's not away? What if Syndran murdered him and Limp is playing?
That would be a dramatic twist. That would be some crazy stuff happening.
Slaughter's the last pick for Escape. A bit of amplify damage from the Drow Ranger, but I'm not sold on the triple melee. Kunkka's still really effective though, very good at shutting down Mirana Escape that she normally has. And Slardar is the off lane, I guess. I actually don't know. Are they doing dual lanes?
Timber saw mid, maybe, probably. Makes more
Timber
sense.
mid, it's okay versus Mirana. It's not amazing, I don't think.
Yeah, the Magic Championship Starstorm could be, and if they have an arrow set up too. Although again, Mirana's right click is pretty much like Wet Noodle against a Timber Saw with reactive armor if he levels it up. So
Yeah.
and last hitting's kind of, I don't know who has the edge there. I feel like Timber Saw, and some Timber Saws do go for like Quelling Blades and stuff like that. So I think it's more than likely going to be Timber Mid, but I don't have enough confidence to say exactly yet. Kaipi still have their last pick coming out, and what I imagine to be their safe lane, mid laner, who knows? There's a lot of choices for them.
I feel like they would much rather put Mirana safe lane, put a decent Timber 1v1 mid. Not quite sure what it would be. Something that's semi-decent against Drow in the mid game, but they also have to be good against Timber in the laning stage. And that's where the problems get a little hard. I was thinking something like even Viper, maybe. Viper's not very good against Timber.
You and I were thinking the same thing.
I mean, we're always Viper fiends, right, man?
Yes, especially me. Although I haven't played Viper in some time, to be fair, but I used to be a Viper fiend. I'm trying to think of what else is good in that mid lane, but I haven't.
Quap's kind of bad.
Or just good in general in this game, I should say.
I feel like Ember Spirit or something like that. Oh, Kunkka's good against that. I was gonna say Quap, Kunkka's good against that, Drow's good against that. There's a lot of heroes I played.
I feel like Escape have put themselves in a pretty good position. Like, I feel like Escape's draft's actually pretty good. They get damage, they got lockdown. They could use one or two more stuns.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think so. But Torrent's pretty good. We saw me Bush could use it the other day.
It's about that X. Everyone knows this about X, dude. Torrent doesn't mean shit.
True. Unless you're a god and you hit Torrents like crazy that you shouldn't hit, and then it's great. All right, well, we're gonna have a 70-minute game.
That's perfect. I like that a lot, actually.
See you guys in an hour.
It's decent against Timber. It does high damage there. They're probably just gonna lane Tinker versus the Timber. It's all right there. And then in the mid game, if you initiate and Drow doesn't see it coming, you can just blow him up. It also gives him a lot of burst damage, which means that it's harder for Oracle to stay alive. So, yeah, this should be good.
This is going to be an exciting game, hopefully. The Tinker, obviously, it's going to be hard for Escape to push up high ground. Number one, they have a Drow Ranger, which is good. So they have a good tower hitter in the sense that they have the Drow. But that's about it, really. They don't have much pushing other than that. Kaipi can push. They have a lot of D-push, or at least some D-push. It's tough to push into Astral as well. Stomp, not to mention the Tinker coming out. The Marks of the Machines and the Starstorm as well. So I feel like Kaipi have a pretty good late game situated draft. Not to say that Escape's draft is, terrible, but we'll see how things turn out. I don't know. What did you think about this Tinker pick coming out? And their draft in general, I should say.
Yeah, like I said before, I think the Tinker's a good solution for what they need, and they definitely need some more damage. So Tinker kind of fit a lot of those problems in a lot of ways. It's gonna be a bone 7 Tinker. That's how that goes. Draft as a whole is pretty cool though. Elder Titan is going to amp up Tinker's damage even farther. It's going to give some good teamfight disruption. I do like their draft. I think it's pretty solid.
We'll see where everyone heads off to as we get underway.
Support, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I realized. I remember they switched this up a while ago, I think, or did they? I thought they did. I thought they had 3 in the offlane last time they played, but.
Well, when we first brought him to Korea, at the time he was known as a bit of a offlaner, but he could also definitely play support. He had played support on EG for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really no big surprise. He may just feed his life away right now, though.
Yeah, do they know?
Oh, they saw him. Yeah, they saw him from a different angle. I don't think he realized, though.
They're not going after him if they do know that he's there.
They know he's there. I think they're going to wait for like 20 seconds and then run up there and kill him, maybe. Pinged. I thought they pinged.
Maybe. I'm looking at the vision right now. They're not seeing him anywhere they're going.
Well, of course, but I thought they saw him. Somebody pinged as he was about to walk high ground onto the cliff. So maybe that was Kaipi writing that instead. But,
it'd be pretty funny to get out of this. This is a Bambo play. I like how I talked about, he's a support. Maybe we won't see the plays being made. No, he's being aggressive, and this just seems typical him, honestly.
I mean, a good Bambo story. There's this one pub game I accidentally queued into him when we were living together and in Korea, and played Rubik, and I had this like Jungle Doom who was incompetent, and I kept going over, and Bambo was like messing with him. So we'd show up with 2 heroes. Eventually we'd kill him, but in reality, what you're doing is committing 2 heroes to him. So even though I thought Bambo was doing something stupid, and in reality, he's wasting 2 heroes times, which should create more space on the map. So even if his plays look kind of stupid sometimes, the reality is that usually the consequences are a lot more dire than you realize it at the time, and it can really lead to a lot of big changes. So
that's like the definition.
Stuff you gotta look out for.
That's the definition of a Bambo play. Something that looks silly, but actually makes so much space, or just does a lot of work in the end. Sometimes it doesn't work, but when he does get it to work, it's kind of crazy.
Just like that Echo Stomp now.
I mean, that Echo Stomp, he canceled it. He could have just let it go. Might have hit. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to not. I mean, use his mana up. So that was a little weird. But still, he's allowing bo5 to get plenty of last hits right now, which is good. Which is what you're supposed to do as a support roaming around the map, and just trying to be aggressive.
Yeah.
But
He was probably expecting Timbersaw to be here, not Draw Ranger, to be honest. But I think the Timber didn't want to land against the Tinker, which makes.
This is something we sort of thought of during the draft, but we didn't talk about it that much as the draft going mid. And I think we mentioned it once or twice, but there was nothing really concrete. They're going to do the dual lanes, though, the 2-1-2 for now, at least. There's the solo lane bottom for the Timbersaw, while they have the roaming Kunkka going mid. But again, there's that ward there that Bamboo plays down, so they have some good vision seeing Yaps will rotate through, and bo5 will just go ahead and continue to CS. I don't know. It's a lot of early game pressure coming through. Finally, Bambo will find the stomp bottom. He even got, it looked like the Astro was there, but it's the Axis. He's level 1. Plenty of right click. They have the reactive armor on him, so even with the Boar Slow, I don't think they'll get this kill.
Not quite enough. Mid.
As
the whole thing.
I went right back to it as he died, so I didn't technically miss it.
Yep, so we're hiding in the trees. More or less under vision, but maybe not. Through a torrent, got hit by the torrent, and then they just used frost arrows all the way across the river, and then the second torrent landed as well. So this first skill shot, no big deal, but the second one was difficult to land, and they do kill bo5 for that.
Damn,
they
I wish
also
I saw
used
that.
laser right before the gank happened, so he didn't even get to like laser the drow to guarantee that he could escape. So that was maybe really sloppy using laser for a CS.
bo5 not realizing. I mean, they had vision of Yapso rotating through.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Oh my god.
Well, they got Timber this time.
All right, that's some
right.
good gold. We're gonna say no. No, I didn't. It's a rough start. 1-1 the score. Yapsor is going to go rotate back up to the top lane. So yeah, I mean, he was doing well bottom. Kizu was having a good time, and then they rotated in Bambo, and then that was when it was a real problem. Bambo will go ahead and deny himself, but this top lane, Torrent not going to connect on Pilot. I think he was just using it to get some CS from Yapsor. And now you can see Era starting to be pretty aggressive under the tower. Escape still leading the CS a little bit, and it's really just going to be 1-1 the score at this point. It's pretty even, I think, across the board, except for the Mirana not getting as much CS as maybe he would like.
Oh, Limp's actually quite low. Oh, that was a huge deny. Busted itself.
Nice. Bambo's still rotating around. Gonna bring the Astral Spirit back. Laser gets him low again, but I don't know if they want to go for this. I feel like the Sacred Tri-Lane top also needs to accomplish something, but we'll see if that actually happens.
I mean, yeah, it definitely affects things a lot, but the big thing right now is that draw's constantly low. They could just kill her here. They get a stomp.
Stomp, they could use, just the combo from bo5, that'll do it. Torrent coming out, just gonna miss from Yapso. Not that it would have gotten the kill, although he does have 2 points to the Tidebringer. Would have gotten him low, but not killed him, I don't think. Still, though, nice kill on the Drow Ranger. I mean, that's the thing, right? I'm gonna go with top lane. Sing was slithering crushed up, but they didn't have a damage to bring him down. Even though with the level 2 Purifying Flames, it's still not enough.
They can just pressure that mid lane so easily, and there's so many heroes that this could be. Oh, bo5's gonna die now.
That's a good torrent. Followed up by the miss from the low ground. Is there actually going to be a way that he lives through this? Torrent, he dodged it, and it's level 1. It might not have killed him. He's going to use the Tidebringer to try to get the cleave damage to get the kill, but it's not going to be successful, as bo5 will dodge it. Well,
Bambo was actually walking to the top lane there, I think, to rebottle a rune is what happened. Maybe. For the Tinker, and then got caught on during that huge stomp. Though the fact that it caught both heroes is insane.
Yeah, and the last right click from the low ground. Ah, god, the low ground miss is it's brutal for escaping this this round. They did lose the Oracle in the top lane for seemingly nothing. He just kind of got caught. A lot of the creeps were doing damage, and just too much damage coming out from Kaipi in that point. So. All right, so they lost the Timbersaw down bottom. He's up to 25 last hits, though. 3-3 sitting at 21, so they're kind of keeping him in check. But how are the other lanes going? I mean, like, this tri-lane is sort of shutting down the Mirana to a fair bit, 12 last hits, but is it worth it? Like, it's a dual lane now, I guess you could call it, but Is this worth the dual lane that they've got
I
going
don't
on?
think so. I mean, he's got how many CS? 12. It's not amazing, but he's pretty survivable in what he's got right now. And Pilot Eye is also still getting levels, like they're getting pulls off and things like that. If you do an aggro try like this and your opponents are controlling the pulls more than you are, then it's kind of hurting you. And it has been more of a dual lane than it has been a tri lane, so it's cool and all that it's been working, but Bambo's also been having effective roaming ganks, and that's where things get harder.
Stomp mid, get a miss on Limp. He'll be able to survive for now. He's got 3 points to precision aura. He's going to go on to Bambo with a couple of frost arrow hits, but with level 1 frost arrow, he can't break him down. Top lane, they will get the kill with the Torrent, Fortune's End, Tideburner, all of that used with a Southern Crushing combination. So that tri lane finally gets the job done killing Sing Sing. That's something they need to do a bit more of, but that kill is at least something going their way.
And keep in mind, bo5 hasn't put a lot of levels in March here. He's got 3 lasers now, but 2 missiles, which means that he isn't able to get a lot of kills here in the early game, then he won't be able to transition as well into jungling. So that's why it's so important this lane goes well.
Limp chasing after Bambo. Torrent, again, just barely off the mark for Yapster. Was looking for the X, couldn't find it. A lot of rotations mid. There's a smoker for Beastmaster. Do they want to fight this? Thor's going to come out. There's the heat-seeking missiles on the rocket that will just bring him down. Laser, excuse me. The stomp's going to come through on Cinderin. He does have Fate's Edict, but not for 3 seconds. Purifying Flames as well. Fortune's End, maybe just to slow Bambo down and try to get away. Cinderin getting clubbed down. Bambo, how far will he go? Does he want this kill? He moves ahead, looking for the stop it. He's going to get it. The physical damage comes out. Can he get it done? One more right click. No. The X marks the Torrent. Yapsor saves his life. Cinderin somehow stays alive. And I can't believe that actually happened.
It's a pretty typical Bambo play, but I'd like to point out the fact that I believe the nerf on Elder Titan actually affected that there. There's a chance, because they changed the scaling of how much Echo Stomp did in the early levels. It went through Fate's Edict because it does part physical and part magic. So if this had been a little higher, he might have just died. Would have been very close. I'm pretty sure he would have killed him if he had just one more, if the previous nerf to Elder Titan didn't happen. It was a good play either way. Like, the fact that he got so many heroes to rotate to his lane, they still do kill the Draw Ranger. If you got an extra solo kill after that, easily justifying his value.
Yeah, I mean, this is all happening, and bo5 has died once. His CS is 30. It's the same as the Drow. He's gotten a couple of kills out of it, too, so or at least assists. This is not a bad lane for bo5 currently. Top of the net worth, actually, which is the biggest thing. How many stacks in the jungle here? I haven't checked. It looks like that is a no. Something to keep in mind.
Yeah, he's gonna just stack the large camp for now. Clear this later. He can do it now, but it's very inexpensive. It's very expensive in terms of mana. If he gets blocked, yeah, he's got a Centaur camp. This is really difficult to do. He'll just have to laser this, most likely.
Go for the March, the level 1 March. He's out of mana. He's got 2 bottle charges left. He'll be able to bring down some of these. The Satyr, Trickster, and the Satyr Mindstealer.
I'm not sold on this. It's kind of good for the sense that it's safer than him jungling or laning, but get there eventually. He's probably just trying to be really safe because he's got a really good start in terms of kills, so he just wants to get his BOTs as fast as possible so that he can be mobile on the map, but it's going to be a bit until he finishes it. Not super efficient, but it'll be fine.
The build still, I mean, it's been for a while, the Aether Lens into Aghanim Scepter. Is that going to be, I mean, it's like, first of all, you get your bottle, your soul ring, your Blank Dagger, and then you go Aether Ags. Is that going to be the case for the Tinker this game as well, do you think?
Eggs is not bad this game due to the Drought Aura, but there aren't that many right clickers, so I'm not 100% sure. It can be really effective against heroes like Conquer, definitely, because it limits his Tidebringer damage in team fights. Decent against Slardar too. But we'll see. Could be something a bit different.
I mean, I'm down for any different build. On any hero, really. I mean, the crazy builds are what I live for, but we'll see if that's going to be the case. I mean, for example, there's a 4-man shield in Era. How common is that? I feel like I should notice that more, but a 4-man shield in Era, I feel like that's not that most important item choice, but still it's kind of interesting.
It's not super weird. Slardar already has really high armor at the start of the game, so if you get a 4-man shield on top of that, it just becomes almost impossible for Mirana to harass him. You know Mirana's damage is low, so it's just the same principle, pretty much.
All right, they're going for a smoke. Was that ward still up? I think it was. While they smoked up, that ward might have scouted the. And well, with that, the scan, it is definitely scouted. They're not going to find anything, or at least they shouldn't. 3-3 is going to sit behind the tower along with Sing Sing and Pilot Eye. He'll continue to just CS, and Escape will come away empty-handed with this gank. As there's the Boots of Travel now done for the Tinker. No Soul Ring, so it's a bit early in comparison to other builds. 10 minutes in. He's going to TP to the tier 2, staying behind the tower. There's an Observer Ward placed deeply there. And now Limp will just go on and hit the tower, and that's going to be the end of the gank. It looks like that should be the end of the gank anyway.
Yeah, Bambo's going to try to delay this at least. He's got a Soul Ring coming in a moment. The other hero's decently grouped in the jungle too. If they can get a roar off, they can easily kill, especially with flying in the area. So they're actually quite strong right now. The heroes have easily hit their power curve, especially now because bo5's got blue travel. Now any fight that happens, they can always have a level 3 laser and level 2 missile show up too.
I didn't think... I was kind of concerned about Bambo and his leveling. He rotated a lot, but he's level 6. That smoke has definitely been counted by the ward. That's also unfortunate.
They know which path they're going.
And that's the thing. Escape probably should just sit behind a tower at this point instead of being out in the open. You can see already heading to the tree line. Keys who's gonna go ahead and just find a TP scroll and get out very quickly. This gank is going to be unsuccessful bottom as well. So lots of good vision, providing plenty of information, and just knowledge that the people are smoking is very important for both of these teams.
So because they got out from the bot lane, they instead are going to sit behind mid in case the gank actually comes to Limp instead, but it doesn't look like it will be coming that way. Pai's going to sit in the jungle as well, probably anticipating a smoke of their own for the reflect, because their opponents did obviously know.
This is
a decent ganking crew here. Although Titan with Lion. Oh, this is a kill, I think.
They thought that the jungle was safe. The war's going to come out the figure of depth as well. 2 ultimates expended, but boy, to see fall quickly, even with level 1 natural order, more than enough to help out.
It really wasn't very safe for Kezu to farm there. They knew that their opponents did smoke. I don't know if they did show in the bot lane or not, but surely they'd still be in the jungle, right?
Right.
Like, why farm all the way up to... And there's a Beastmaster, so there's a really high chance that they get vision over you. I think that was just really unsafe to go farm there.
I think you have to wait until they come out and show themselves in any lane before you decide to make that decision.
Maybe they thought they were Roshing or something, but I don't know. There's no way they even expected that either. It's not like they have good Rosh. They don't have anybody doing damage.
Not to Roshan, no. Not until they get an Echo or 2. And they'll have a TP's coming in bottom. There's a lot of heroes here. They might just go for this Earth Spike right on point. It's Kezu again. They have the Hawk vision over, but the Hawk will go down as the Chakram goes immediately. Meanwhile, they're pushing top on the Radiant side, just trying to get that damage done. But it's not going to be enough. They'll TP a couple more heroes bottom to try to set something up here. It's going to be Apsor. No go ship yet. He's level 5, not quite level 6. And even with this experienced leech, I don't think he will get there. He needs at least another creep wave, it looks like. They're going to try to chase somebody down, but not successful in doing so.
Yeah, they knew they could be aggressive. All the ultimates for Kaipi were down there. They had no roar. They had no finger of death. Those are the big ones. But he can be aggressive this time.
Right. bo5 already TPing the Hawks at this early stage of the game. 13 minutes, they send the Hawk into the tree line down here in the corner of the map. And he throws rockets out casually. That's gotta be annoying.
Good strategy. Definitely the OP of Tinker. Maybe they were planning on Tinker this whole time, who knows, but it certainly fits their draft very well.
I do want to say that whoever does win this series is going to be going to the grand finals. It's pretty imperative. There's the Moonlight Shadow. Arrow's been caught out. He's going to get caught with the Earth Splitter as well. It's more than enough damage, but not yet. They do need to bring him down with at least one more ability here, and it will be the Earth Spike that does the job alongside bo5's one right click. And let them to kill at the very least. So
that was really nicely done. They land the Echo Stomp from Bambo to start everything, and it's so easy to just TP into that. Their draft really does fit together perfectly. It's so cool.
It's KP's draft is starting to see that synergy, and it's exactly what you said. Getting past like the first couple of minutes, making sure they can get some experience on the supports, on their other heroes. Even bo5, we haven't seen obviously the peak of his impact yet, which who knows when that'll be. I mean, not even with a blink tag.
He's doing great already. He's completely fine now. As long as he's a little safe about the times that he goes in, he can still contribute a huge amount. 200 magic damage from heat-seeking missile and 240 pure laser. That's a lot of damage. Like about 400, 390 after magic resistance. Huge.
You see Kezu just run away as soon as that happens. Roar, they'll find Yapsora. They at least will have infused brain drops. That will not protect him as the Necro goes and mana burns him like crazy. They'll use the Purifying Flames. They want 3-3, but he's going to be able to get out, I think, for the most part, as they don't want to fight in the march. They've got the slow from the boar on Synderen, but it will go in a moment as they've killed the boar with Limp coming in. Rockets flying through. Limp will take that damage, but a good gut stops Pile of that from getting an Earth Spike off. I don't think they have any way of catching anybody. Maybe a stop would do the job, and they will catch Limp, but he's underneath the tier 2 tower. The arrow will come through, will hit, but they have the Fates Edict ready to go. They also have the False Promise at the ready if they need it. TP coming through. This game looking to turn this Yap story. He's got Ghost Ship, but X Mark's not in range. Good disengage if KP can get out. Out in range of that X Marks is the reason why they're leaving, just so they can get out of any sort of catch potential. Stomp again. They're going to turn this finger. Kezu will fall immediately. The arrow will fly onto Yapstor as well. bo5 in the fray. Dropping down the marches will pilot Eyes low, but not dead yet. Here comes the Ghost if they've got the rum, and it looks like the rest of the squad's trying to leave. bo5, will he make it out? Absolutely. Earth Splitter not doing much in 3-3 will TP away as well. So it will be a 1 for... Did anyone die there from escape besides Yapster at the beginning of the fray? I don't think so.
Timber, I guess.
Oh yeah,
that was the start of the fight, kind of. Oh, well, it was the turn. He had Bloodstone then, so that's why he respawned so fast. But
so
pretty good,
actually.
2 for 1. Timbersaw in line. Who else died?
That was it. No, Timbersaw and Yapster died at the beginning of the fight. They caught him first, I believe.
Oh, yes, sir did. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he was in the jungle, right? He was the one that got roared on, correct?
Yep. And then he had to TP in.
Yeah. So it was pretty good. Fight. Good for KP, definitely. Drow's looking like she's hitting quite hard, though, so they've got to be a bit careful. But her DPS is doing a lot. Line got really low really fast. His TP was a little greedy, but it worked out.
I think I really like the turn KP did there. Like, that was... They just hid behind the trees, and all of a sudden they come out, they blow 2 big abilities, and just find kills instantly. At least 1 kill on the Timbersaw. I thought that was really interesting.
He needs a cloak really bad. It's just so needed against these kind of heroes, especially with an Elder Titan in the game who's going to lower your magic resistance with his aura. Makes Finger of Death, double Starstorm, missiles, just do so much more. Once he becomes tanky enough that he doesn't have to worry about that burst when the ultimates are up, then the whole game kind of changes. And that's kind of how they've been playing the game. As soon as they have ultimates, they feel comfortable being aggressive towards Timbersaw. But when they don't have those, then Timbersaw's kind of invulnerable. So if he had maybe a raindrop or a cloak or something like that, it could have been way different.
bo5 TPing right onto Kezu. Kezu trying to clear out the group wave before it does. Not successful, but he still clears out the group wave anyways. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Kezu needs some sort of more magic survivability here. We saw a lot of it the other day.
It's going to make a pipe almost for sure. This is like the most pipe game ever, so wouldn't be weird.
I am completely on board with that. Now, we've seen Drow lineups work in the late game recently, even in this tournament. Well, that thought flicks to the ring, crush. Bambo in trouble. Torrent. Ghost Ship flying through that is more than enough to get the kill. A little bit of overkill, but not much. The Ghost Ship stuns him and keeps him in place. Make sure he doesn't get out. Squeak his way through. Highlight dies, getting some room to farm elsewhere in the top lane. And with that, Limp and Arrow, they go to work. They've got amplified damage ready to go. They're going to try to take down Roche with it. The Hawks will get vision. They have Necrobook 2 ready to go, as well as Roar. This is going to be a tough Roche to take, especially with that Tinker coming through and dropping the March down. I don't know if they're going to go for this.
Man, I thought it was going to be so easy because they killed Bambo, who could walk the Spirit in and stomp, but they actually have like 3 heroes that are that annoying. Got Beastmaster Hawk, they can do this March thing, which is very problematic, and they killed the Ward here.
This
really
is
good
Roche
map
too.
Regain.
Like, can you imagine if this was high ground instead of Roche? Like, I don't see Escape, unless they could kill like 4 of these 5 heroes. I don't see them pushing high ground very successfully. Maybe not 4 of the 5, but a couple of them.
I mean, it's definitely difficult, but high ground's easier than Roche in a lot of ways. The cliff makes it almost impossible to defend against that kind of nukes over cliffing.
That's a good point. Positioning wise, Roche might be easier for the Dire team to set up for, especially on the Dire side, yeah, and just throwing out all the damaging newts and marching machines, spamming it over. They'll push the tier 1 tower now with everyone from Escape backing off, resetting, heading towards mid, finding more farm. Yasha, Dragonlance now done for the Drow Ranger, level 11. Limp sitting at top of the net worth again, but him and the Tinker should trade farm pretty consistently over the next couple of minutes. And there's that armlet that we see from Kuka so often now. More survivability and damage.
I mean, Yepsor has a really good KDA this game, but he's definitely been hurting for levels in a lot. They've been kind of having trouble getting kills. So his X's, at least, are very short range. It's difficult for him to get some impact in that way. But at least he's been getting some kills and assists and helping his team. If he can get a bit more leveled up, the armlet's going to be huge with the splash damage, because you can clear things like Master Boars, even doing some damage to Necros can make a huge impact.
Yeah. See what they can find with this Smoke of Deceit gank. bo5 he shouldn't be caught out, really, with the Blink Dagger positioning. They're going to ping him, but he's going to already TP out at this point, and they can't walk through the march, obviously, either. Gan will be used over towards Roche. They wanted to see if they could catch anybody over there, but in fact, Look at where KP are situated, underneath the tier 2 tower. They're not looking to go too far up.
Yeah,
Now they'll make the
they're
move.
scared. They lost Bambo before in a very similar situation. They know if they lose like 2 heroes for nothing, that escape will just take Roche. So the next fight kind of whether or not which team gets Roche on. So I'm just gonna group for now. We played very, very safe, and that's a good smart decision.
I think KP, yeah, I think the decision to play safe is a good one, because I feel like their late game potential. I don't know how you feel about the late game. I feel like with Era on the slaughter, obviously amplify damage to help out and do damage to some of these heroes. They have good team fight, but I personally think KP's late game lineup is also solid, but I don't know who to choose in this game.
I mean, Tinker is always going to be fantastic. I would argue that KP's team fight is just better as a whole. It's not even close in that way, because they got Echo Stomp, which they always have to worry about. If they land a good Echo Stomp, it should lead to an arrow or an Earth Splitter follow-up. They've got arrow follow-ups after Roar. They've got a Lion, and they also have Tinker, obviously, which is huge damage output and very, very wily, very difficult to shut down. So I think it's just stronger on their side. Although they do have Kunkka, but that's about it. It's like Kunkka Slaughter is the team fight for escape here.
Moonlight Shadow. And they won't find anybody, not yet. There's no real detection on these front two. Kazu and Era not having any. And of course, well, Yapster's a little too late with the dust, as they've already moved out of the jungle and back into the lane. They'll find an Observer Ward. They'll counter that. They know Paladai is Moonlight Shadowed. And now it's Escape's turn to sit close to that tier 2 tower. But again, nobody wants to give away Roche. Nobody wants to give that away at this point. It's all about positioning.
And this is the problem here for Escape's draft, is that KP can always have a Tinker be split pushing, but he's in reality ready to fight. So as long as he keeps pushing out lanes, there's not really anything that's going to make KP want to back out, and they're not that concerned about this. On the other side, Drow needs to keep her farm up, but Tinker can do that more rapidly while also being in the team fight. It's one of the really big advantages of the hero. So this dance is going to be so difficult for them. They're going to find Kezu here, but
he pops the Hood Aura, or the Hood Shield, I should say. Nobody really initiating yet. Era's thinking about it. He really needed to make a decision. Now his blink is put on cooldown because of the March.
Oh, we got
X Marks. They've got the Ghost Ship. Sing Sing might be in trouble. He should fall first, and Era will get the kill with the Slithering Crush. Great blink to finish him off, and now they're looking for 3-3. The roar will come through, and it looks like he's moved up too far. They'll get a double kill for Era, and he wants a third. Bambo's stunned up, and it looks like bo5's just not doing it. Up there is great two-man torrent. bo5 about to fall. It's going to be 5 dead for the side of KP. What a fight from Escape. Some great stuns. Oh man, yeah,
look how low they
set
are.
That fight up so well.
There's 3 heroes that are basically dead, and they just didn't get any advantage. I mean, all they got out of that fight, out of Marana alone, was just a double Starstorm on top of the Timbersaw, but he played way too dangerous there. If there's a Kunkka in the game, you can't play that close to your opponents. So Kazu's aggressiveness completely paid off there, and it leads to 5 heroes on KP dying. On the bright side, they were so low that they couldn't instantly just go take Roche, but man, not a good fight for KP.
If that's your bright side, that's not super great for them. I mean, yeah, it's not a... The net worth lead is gonna go up to about 5,000. It could be a lot worse. This could happen later on into the game at a much more crucial point. But Kazu will get stomped. Is there any follow-up as the rest of the team is coming in? Pilot Eye looking for an Earth Spec. He will find it. We might see a suicide here if he doesn't get stunned to death, and that's going to be the problem, is that he will get stun locked down before he can even use his suicide from his Bloodstone.
And they didn't even have to roar there. That was pretty good damage. I think they just missed a ton of skill execution, basically. That fight got chaotic very rapidly as soon as Marana got killed. Even, Bambo's surrounded by 3 heroes. Beastmaster roared on a hero that had 3 heroes in front of him, so it was even difficult to kill Oracle, but they were able to pull that one off. They barely did as much damage as they did. So it still should be good for them going to late game, as long as the 2 heroes that have good escape don't get caught at the start. That means Marana and that means Tinker. If those guys get X comboed and Escape is able to do combos on those heroes at the start of the fight, then they should have a really good fight going for them. But Kaipi has to make sure that doesn't happen again, because too many more of those, then they could just lose Roche and a ton of advantage.
What do you think about BKB or some sort of defensive item like a Lincoln Sphere against the X marks? Because that seemed to be the issue there.
It's so bad. It sucks to buy. That's why Kunkka is so strong right now as a support, is because you're forced into buying these crazy items just to keep survivability against X marks the spot. You can do other things like Glimmer Cape as well, just that way when you come back in the X, you take far less damage from the combo, but against good teams, that usually isn't enough. Something like BKB is safer, but you don't want to buy BKB on Ponham. That's just really straightforward.
Is there any way to deal with it then without buying those items? Or
don't let him cast X on you.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Get Blink Dagger on Marana, that way you get blinked out earlier, not have to waste Leap. By the time you finally use Leap, The X had been casted, so.
Double damage.
Yeah, when that X is casted, you're like, well, I better take my hands off the keyboard. Obviously, you don't. You hope that something happens, if the timing's messed up or something along those lines. But it almost feels that way in some instances. At least from our perspective when we're watching it. But yeah, it seems difficult to deal with that right now for KP. And we'll see if they can. Yules might. Wait, how does the interaction work with Yules again, by the way, for X marks?
I am not. I think Glimpse goes through Yules. I don't know if X does. But
That's
I
the
think
one thing I was curious about.
But I believe Yules is more of a increase Rambo's movement speed, give him a disable setup kind of a thing. And that looks like he does nuke the bot lane. Doesn't look like they noticed.
Ooh, that's a good scan from the Radiant team. That's a very good scan. Kez gonna walk right into all of them. They have the at least Necro units up. Now they're gonna use the figure as well. They get off at least the Oracle's False Promise coming through. Will take a bit of damage. They have the Ghost Ship as well. They've already taken down the Beastmaster. Looking for more. Bambo gets the stomp off onto one. Air looking for another blink. It's up in 6 seconds. Good Yules from Bambo though to make sure he can't chase any further. Cinderin obviously with the Fortune but he's too far away. Limp, no blink either. Arrow's gonna be the one to try to chase. Arrow is gonna hit a neutral creep.
In case there's a blink right there. Sing Sing was next leveling, that's all. If they had blink right there, like maybe the Slur took a little bit less damage, he could have died. Really nice reaction to how they prepared that though. They saw the scan, they immediately put Timber in the front, and the important thing was that he was walking up the hill as Kaipi was approaching. If they did it a different way, it wouldn't have been as obvious. They might have thought that then Keizu didn't know they were there.
Kezu is now in a dangerous spot. Earth Splitter's going to come through. It'll hit up on Limp now. They have to back away again with one kill on the board. They still can't find anything in terms of, well, hold that thought. There's the Slurring Crush. Bo5 might be in trouble. His first death after a long period of time. Air's still hexed up. They will find it, but Kezu's going in right now. He wants Pilot Eye. Another good Yule is coming out from Bambo, but he's low on mana at this point. Kezu will at least try to Timber Chain away. Limp's still going to work on Roshan. Not successful in finding any more damage, really. At this point, they try to get a kill. They got a kill on Bo5. Sure, they had to trade the air away for it, but I feel like that's worth it, given the net worth of these two heroes.
Wasn't too bad. I mean, there's going to be some problems with Escape going into the late game due to their damage. Draw Ranger's doing well, but she's going BKB after Manta style, which means that her damage isn't going to be super huge. And as long as Bo5 can keep farming and finish his egg soon, he's going to output so much more damage than Draw Ranger will in most team fights. So even though Escape is kind of winning fights, they're still having trouble finishing the Roche. That's another one of the really cool things about Kaipi's draft that we've talked about. It's just so hard. They have to win a big fight, then get to Roche, and then take it. They've got Slardar and they have Draw Ranger. They should be able to do it rapidly, but they're just not quite winning the fights hard enough. So as long as Kaipi keeps rating fairly even, they should be able to contest Roche and eventually get it themselves.
This is a stressful game, it feels like, for both of these teams. Even just game number one of this five-game series, it's kind of all over the place. I mean, there is the 4,000 net worth escape lead, excuse me, but that could dwindle very quickly if Kaipi could just string together one good fight, which is definitely doable.
Good item pickup for Keizu here. I'm going for Lotus Orb. Solid armor obviously can reflect a lot of important spells. You can remove hex from allies as well, like if Lion hexes somebody. White Farm, despite his KDA, he's doing a great job.
It's definitely a good debuff remover for sure.
Alright, Arrow's smoke gets broken. Pi will
and Pilot died. And that's just great heads-up play from Arrow to... Unless they had some vision there that I'm not seeing, they're able to Pilot Eye without any issues whatsoever.
Well, that's why he's standing there. Like, honestly, it's really about warding or de-warding a little bit. He's standing in the trees, he's standing close. He ends up dying there, but do they still feel comfortable roshing? They can poke around. Still have to deal with Tinker. They still have to deal with Bamble on the Elder Titan. They still have to deal with Beastmaster Hawk. If any of those three heroes die, it's much easier to go into Roche. Pilot Eye trading his life for one smoke, completely worth it, because he guaranteed then that they didn't get like 3 kills. He guaranteed it's 1 kill, and he might have been able to escape. If he had a ward out there when the smoke broke, he could have blinked out, but he didn't have the ward, which is fine. He probably didn't have any wards available. But now, traded, smoke is gone, as he loses their opportunity, and then Kaipi goes back to just farming and sitting around the Roche area and anticipating this. It's really effective. Pilot Eye trades his life like that all the time. It's kind of hard to see, but when you do, it's like mind-blowing how strong he is as a player.
I mean, it's just a solid play that it's tanking the gank is the best term that you could use, because if you have your Sing Sing Rana or your Bo5 Tinker in that position and they go down, that's some of your highest net worth value targets just fall into a gank that shouldn't happen in the first place. That
And they're dead way longer than a level 11 line would be. Deal.
And the biggest thing, which is what you talked about, if you kill, like, it's always been Bambo that's been killed in a lot of those instances, or 3-3 on the Beastmaster, and even after they kill that hero, they're not comfortable going into Roche. So you kill Pilot dying, and you're even less comfortable, but they try it anyways. They're only in there for half of a second before they get stomped, a double stomp on the cores, and they decide to say, okay, well, I think that's enough of that. We need to leave now. And here's the Aghanim Scepter, arguably one of the most important items of the game, now done for Bone7's Tinker, but it's right at the point where BKBs are getting finished up here, as Air picks up his, as well as them. So, some big important items coming out, and I don't know. I feel like Sing Sing and Kaipi could use a bit more time here, but we'll wait and see. They kind of have to get these BKBs down a little bit lower as well.
Yeah, honestly, the biggest issue with Kaipi's draft is that, yeah, they can contest Roche, but they can't actually take it very well themselves. They don't have a physical damage dealer. They'd have to buy like a medallion on somebody like Elder Titan or something like that to actually have the ability to right-click down Roche in time. But they just can't do that with their heroes, so it kind of forces them to play this defensive style. I mean, arguably, if they had Roche taking capabilities, they could have taken it already easily, considering how well they've been contesting it. So it's been a very protect Roche because we can't take it sort of game for Kaipi. It's weird, but they're making it work.
I think if you have Aegis for escape, they're allowed to push up and be a bit more aggressive in terms of pushing and finding kills, which is very important.
If they could put Aegis on somebody like Slaughter and just jump in and go crazy on enemy heroes, it'd be really, really effective. A nice tool for them.
Ooh, do they know where Bone7 is? I think I thought for a second there that, hey, you might be right there in that tree line.
As long as that if you don't catch him when you blink and then you die. So it's kind of dangerous. It's very easy as an observer to look at and be like, yeah, just blink right there and go on him.
Yeah.
If you don't know where he is and you make the mistake, you're committed to like 1v5 against enemy heroes. Let's get disabled here.
I don't think they're going to go on this. I'd be very surprised. He's under the big tier 2 tower. But yeah, for observers, it's fine either way, because if he goes in and he finds the target, he kills him usually. If he goes in and he doesn't find the target, or the target finds him, then he dies. So
does Purifying Flames wake you up from sleep?
I think it does, and what he's been doing is he's been putting the Fate's Edict on him, and he's been putting the Purifying Flames on him, so he doesn't theoretically take damage. But it's been waking him up. I've seen it at least twice.
Okay,
yeah,
I just thought
think
about that.
So I don't want to
do so good. Actually, fucking amazing against Elder Titan, and I think that's why they drafted it, because that's the only way that you can do damage to your ally, where you can wake them up, but in a case where it will also heal. That's so good. And Synderen does keep doing this. He casts Fate's Edict on whoever gets disabled. That way the follow-up is, he's magic, or takes no magic damage from that. You can just constantly sit back and wake people up from Echo Stomp, casting Purifying Flames. That's pretty amazing. Really counters a lot of what Elder Titan does.
That's almost a mechanic that's, I won't say bugged, but I don't think it's working the way that it's intended to.
I completely disagree. That's how the skill works. You know, that's how Echo Stomp works. That's how Fate's Edict. That's a beautiful feature in Dota 2 that allows Oracle to be a counter in this one cool way.
Well, here's what I'm saying.
That's the kind of stuff that makes the game good.
Here's what I'm saying is that Fate's Edict, when you're Purifying Flamesing somebody that's Fate's Edict, they don't take damage, correct? Or at least, I guess they have 100% magic damage.
In that case, sometimes there are things like that happen, yeah. Like, maybe your urn would break. So I don't... That might be an inconsistent bug, you're right. It might be more balanced if you're forced to cast Purifying Flames without Fate's Edict.
Yes, I agree with that. And he might do that. He might have been doing that, and that's why they're waking up. I've thought... From my perspective, from what I've seen, I feel like they've been using Fate's Edict, then Purifying Flames, and they wake up. But we'll wait and see another fight before we really determine if that's true or not, or another stomp or anything. So, anyways, 34 minutes in, and we're kind of playing, I don't know, dodge the other team, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. It's a lot of farming for both sides, really.
Yeah, like I said, Kaipi can't take Roche easily, so they just want to control the map, keep farming, try to tank ganks on some of their supports, maybe look for kills here. But look at this, they're just TPing Kezu with the Boots of Travel with X marks the spot to counter push lanes. So any advantage that Kaipi was supposed to get from just doing this passive push all lanes, never take Roche style, is gone. They were set up there, they had 3 heroes top, they were going to TP in, blow the Timber Saw up. Really difficult. I think if you Yules him and he's in the air when the X comes back, he will stay. So there's a possibility of them messing up this gank. But it's going to take like a Blink Dagger on Bambo. Because he's the one with the Yules right now, and he has to be able to gap close onto that.
It's getting kind of close if he wants it. He's got 1,600 gold right now, so I'm
other
totally
problem
down for that.
is that you have to time the Yules at the exact time that X comes back, and because for allies it lasts for 8 seconds, it's very difficult to time that perfectly. They might try to go on limp here. Bambo's watching him.
They had the Hawk, I think, up there. Yeah, they did, but it was about to go down. They didn't know who was behind Limp as well. And speaking of the Devil, Cinderin as well as Era show up, kind of baiting the Drow Ranger out front. Instead, bo7 will just continue to push top for now. They'll wait on pushing and going for a kill. This is just more and more farming at this point. I mean, there's not much else to say. We haven't seen a kill in, let's see, how long? At least 6 minutes. Yeah.
The important thing is that the way that they're playing the game is really good. Like, the way that Kaipi's been defending Roche has been really cool. The way that Escape has been safely split pushing using X is really smart. Like, normally Timber wouldn't buy BOTs this early, but they purchased it because they needed the reaction to what Kaipi was doing. The fact that they recognized that and picked it was really cool.
How do you feel about the Shadow Blade on Era, by the way? 2 ways to initiate.
It's not a bad choice at all. Like, it'll give him a much better chance of basically initiating on the Tinker without having to using his Blink Dagger, or potentially get out of position to do that. And he can maybe even scout support that. He doesn't want to show it, so he's not going to stand next to the creep wave, but he might possibly just Shadow Blade pass and look for the support initiation.
The Absol is literally right next to bo7. That was the most awkward thing I've ever seen. He already used his X marks on Kezu, I believe, so it was on cooldown. But that was pretty funny. I don't know if they saw each other. They pinged. Somebody pinged. So I imagine they did.
I'm kind of curious what item bo7's going here. He does have a Void Stone. I'm just curious if it's going to be a Hex or a Yules. He might want to do something like Yules because then he can Yules himself after Silence. But Hex is also amazing for countering BKBs, so... kind of curious. We'll see what he does. He's pretty close to the item either way. I mean, he could have bought Yules instantly right now if he wanted to.
He's got a couple of options. We'll wait and see. I'm down for X. I think the more aggressive choice is always the better one. I mean, in this situation, they need to find kills.
Top lane, bo7 anticipating things. I don't know if he saw Era's Shadow Blade yet, but he started the TP and then he canceled it.
Well, he knows now.
Probably just for fun.
Era just showed in lane after the Shadow Blade came off.
That's why he did it, you know, occasionally doing that, saying, oh, this lane looks a little dangerous, so I'm going to TP into a range creep, I'm going to cancel it. Anything that's dangerous, you can do that. It costs you almost nothing. It costs you 10 seconds as a Tinker. Oh. And then they're either going to go for it or they're not going to go for it. If they go for it, you save yourself. And if they don't go for it, whatever, you wasted 10 seconds.
Oh, this play is ballsy, and I love it, and it's going to work. They're actually going to get this for
the Roche steal.
Kaipi.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're sneaking this.
Vlads.
And they had a double damage on Sing Sing as well. Yeah, that too. They also had so they have the Vlads, they have the double damage on Sing Sing. It allows them to do just enough damage where Limp and the rest of the crew are out of position. They're not over towards that Roche pit for the one time in this game, or at least the one time in the past 10 minutes or so. And that allows Sing Sing to pick up now aggressively Ethereal Blade. Not worry about buyback money. He's got Aegis. They have tier 2 still up ready to go, even if he does go down without Aegis. So this is a great time for Kaipi to go for that maneuver, and it also helps the Tinker get to his next item. He's up to 5.6k gold.
What if he'll ever spend it? That is, he actually is TP, and it looks like he might find it. He can finish it right now. It's gonna be Hex, I think. Yeah, will be Hex. Yep. Doesn't have buyback though. That's the scary part. But they're easily winning this game, is what it seems like. I mean, it's not easy, and the game's not over. But as you can see, their net worth is trickling up. Wait, that's Escape winning? What the hell?
Yes.
I thought that was going to go the other way.
No, Drow's been farming very well.
You know, I'm not too concerned. I feel like Kaipi is still winning, though. Sure. I guess the Escape's getting more out of the map because Kaipi's had so much control over Roche, but...
Bambo is, good Yules coming out from him, but still, the Torrent was right on time. Oh, almost not on time, but meanwhile, look at that damage coming from Sing Sing. Blows up Sin. Oh, but the bash comes out. They have the X marks as well. Sing will lose his Aegis. Does he have Leap is the question. He does not have Blink Dagger with the Chakram up. Sing Sing, good Earthspike coming out from Highlight Dive, and Sing still about to fall. The roll will come out, and 3-3 will be next. But the laser from bo7 taking everybody down. It's 4 dead and Keshu, the only one alive. They hex him up. bo7 to the rescue with Highlight Dive helping out with a huge Earthspike. It's a double kill for bo7. Oh my god. What a massacre.
If they didn't have Aegis there, I don't think they win that fight. It was very, very close. But the fact that Sing even got like another Starstorm combo off after his Aegis respawn changed a lot of things. That could have been enough for for Timbersaw to stay alive and Drow Ranger get a couple, like 5 more right clicks off, things like that, and they win a huge convincing fight. Like I said, I really felt like Kaipi was in the advantage in a lot of ways. Tinker, the advantage he provides is just so scary, especially in fights like that. Once the BKB is done, and if you get laser landing on like 4 or 5 heroes, it just completely impacts the fight. They can't attack anymore. They take 320 pure damage, which is huge, and then you can eventually work people on still using hexes and other follow-up disables.
They were already low from the Starstorm, from the Lion Earth Spike, from everything, from the Roar, from the Necro Books. So when he comes in and uses that laser, he gets like an almost immediate double kill, and then provides them an easy way to clean up the fight after that.
And that's why it changes everything too. If you think about the Aegis, that is, think about how the fight started. It was Mirana getting initiated on. It took him a while to die, but he did eventually die. And that meant that by the time he had died the second time, the BKBs are way gone. If he dies instantly at the start of the fight there, they still have like 3-4 seconds of BKB left to chase the follow-ups for Kaipi, and then they're maybe able to get more kills, rather than just getting another Titan who bought his team time, and Sing Sing who bought his team time. That's the only reason that fight was won for Kaipi in a lot of ways, because it was Escape getting a good initiation. So Kaipi needs to start initiating, ideally with some roars, but they were able to squeeze a big fight for that one.
Great engagement. And, well, how much did that actually net them? Well, more than 7,500 net worth. They're around that mark. That's a pretty significant change in gold.
Really,
it's very
they're
crazy.
Gonna pop a smoke here on 3 of their heroes. They've got Hawks up as well, so obviously Tinker can TP.
They're ready to go.
Sing down here too. I think Sing Sing's gonna have to get a BKB at this point. I know you were talking about it before, but just looking at how that fight went, he could have done so many more annoying and aggressive Mirana things if he did have the capabilities of not having to worry about X. So that BKB is going to be so needed. I do like how he's playing aggressive down here, and he's also blinking to the creeps in a safe way. If he walks up and does it, then it's obvious to his opponents that he feels comfortable, which means his team's behind him. So he's basically trying to trick his opponents into thinking he's there, while the rest of his team tries to take an engagement in the jungle. Very smart play.
Yeah, and Escape, well, those tactics don't necessarily matter, as Escape have moved into the trees, into the enemy jungle, trying to find what they can, but that means that they're going to lose the tier 2 tower bottom. They have split push happening elsewhere with bo5. He's going to stay in the tree line. TP will come through from Kezu, and here's my biggest problem with KP's lineup is tower pushing. How do they get to the high ground? Yes, they have a Necro 3. That's really it when you think about it.
I mean, it'll get better over time. I mean, E-Blade's technically a decent damage item for Mirana. You know, you spend by something like a Butterfly, does 60 damage, 60 agility. This is 40 straight agility. It's not quite the same, but you know, eventually they'll be alright, I think.
Yeah, the agility that you get.
Oh, I mean, this is going to be such a good fight.
Oh my lord, that damage coming through. They already get lipped. He's low. He off to top the BKB. Meanwhile, my dies 3-3. Get destroyed. 2 down. 6-6 all alone now, and he's getting shredded. The last right click from Limp with a double damage. He's actually destroying everybody. Meanwhile, they're looking for more. Era is hexed up. He was looking for this Lyrian Crest. bo5 about to TP out, and he will make it away. And now Kezu's on the hunt looking for Sexy Bambo to get the 4th kill in this fight, but it looks like they will not be able to find him. He's able to make it away towards that bottom tier 2 tower, but finally Escape turned it around, and they say, screw it, we don't care if we lost a 5-man engagement earlier. We're gonna go right to your high ground for your tier 3 tower. There's actually no flip. Limp barely surviving. He do get off that Lotus Orb, and Kezu now hexed up as well and needs to avoid that Earth Splitter. They both will. They'll both be able to go back to work on CZ at high ground, and that tier 3 tower might fall. The Yules will come out. Bambo will save it for now, and then deny it. What a Bambo play to make. Walk up the Fate's Edict is there, so we can't quite attack the tower just yet. Heals are coming through. Stomp's getting ready to go. Another Hex is there. There's the missiles. There's the laser on top. More Lotus Storms coming through. And Era's walking in. Shadow bladed up. No detection coming out. There's the jump, and they found bo5. They want more. They blink up the damage. Finally, to get the Ghost Scepter off, though. But is it enough? The Chakram. There's the Yule Scepter. bo5 is barely staying alive. And now the Earth Spike will come through. Lotus Storm, it goes both ways, and still Kezu going back to work. They'll take down both of the Raxus. Morris can come out lit. False Promise. BKB, they're going to try to turn this Ethereal Blade. Era low. Pops the BKB, but he's at like 10 HP at this point. Sing Sing will finally fall. Ghost Ship to come through. They've got the room to help them out now if they want to try to turn this around. Kezu's got that Timber Chain and Blink ready to go. There's going to be get the Chakra coming in. Look at the damage. He is hexed up, but it doesn't matter. The Torrent is on one. The Yules is on the other. Bambo getting chased down. It's a double for Kezu. The laser's not enough at this point. bo5 can try to do all that he can, but at this point he's trying to TP home. and that will be what he accomplishes, as that is an amazing fight for Escape Gaming.
Dude, Cinderin has just been MVP carrying these last 3 fights, like especially the one by the Roche pit as well. He keeps doing false promise at the perfect time. It's allowing the BKB to come out for Draw Ranger, and then because of her item build, she's just doing so much damage with MKB. Killing anybody.
Yeah, she's killing everybody. She's got plenty of damage right now.
And the Shadow Blade on Slardar was also really useful. It allowed them to initiate on Bone 7. Like, Pieliedie did save him with an ultra clutch Force Staff, but it still got so close. And Kezu as well. The Aether Lens use, or the Lotus Orb usage in the Roche area fight, and in the upper fight as well. The fact that he Lotus Orb himself in the draw previously, him a lot of longevity in these fights that allow them to actually kill Kaipi's heroes, or Kaipi's heroes, despite Kaipi in a lot of ways being ahead. This game's getting really intense really fast.
I mean, like, we had that, like, minute 35-ish. Like, if you look at the graph and look how, like, desolate it was during that time, and then look at the past 5 minutes and just seeing what's happened, it's been a crazy
The down
game.
up. You know what this graph looks like? It looks like the whatever the computer taking data was just not paying attention for the time period. It's just like missed data points. You ever seen that before in a graph?
Yes.
Like all the computer just was off those days. That's what happened. Back on trend. No worries, guys. 2 big kills here on the top lane as well, and Escape's in a really good spot. Those guys
No
don't have
buybacks.
buyback.
Exactly.
They've got to defend this. If they get 2 racks, they're almost screwed here.
If anyone
Controlling
dies,
Roche against that is impossible.
no one else is buyback other than Bone 7 at this point. The closest person is Pieliedie at 174, so this is a tough defense, although already Era has found a 2-person
Bone in trouble.
Bone 7 is going to go down to the chakrams. He has to buy back. They'll push everyone back into the well, into the base. The tier 3 tower at half health. Now with False Promise done, they might want to back away. Escape, they're happy with what they've accomplished. Kazu doesn't want to lose any more Bloodstone charges, as he just got that Aghanim Scepter as well. Doesn't want to have to lose too much in terms of his gold as well as Bloodstone charges. They'll back away. They'll reset. They can try to go again. But they might just play patiently and go for the next Roche, which is, by the way, up now.
I think they should. It's going to be a lot harder for Kaipi to actually defend Roche now that there's things like Shadow Blades on the Slardar. Especially with all these buybacks. They do have a gem on Beastmaster, so it's maybe not the easiest thing to deal with. But the most crucial item that Kaipi actually needs is BKB on Sing Sing. Like, you talked about it early, and I was a little unsure. I did still justify for Ethereal Blade, but he needs BKB so bad. He's just been consistently having a low impact. Just gets X once, and that's it. Mirana's gonna die. Glimmer Cape is not gonna save him. He's taking pure damage from Timber, for example. Like, he needs BKB.
I absolutely agree. And I also think that really what prompted that was, I think, Slardar getting the Shadow Blade was one of the most important decisions this game, in my opinion. That's been such a useful choice for them, and finding pickoffs and finding that critical engagement in that mid lane to set up the racks falling.
Yeah,
was the Shadow Blade.
That was pretty huge. I think Slardar's actually buying another Lotus Orb. He's got a Perseverance right now. Good choice. We'll offset a lot of what Elder Time. Actually, Elder Time will remove all of Slardar's. They're gonna try to fight into this. This is a bad engagement though.
They're gonna find Pieliedie, Ghost Sceptered up. He still can cast spells with BKBs all over the place. Still not finding anything. All they're gonna get is Pieliedie. This time tanking the gank and dealing damage to Cinderin in the process. Stomp will come through, hit onto 2, but Kezu's still going to work once Bambo. Moonlight Shadow is there. Meanwhile, everyone coming back in. Sing Sing was nearby, blinked up. Gonna try to fight her, actually leaped up, but now he blinks back and he'll be able to make it out. The Hex is up onto Kezu. He is the tanky frontliner that they have no way of dealing with. They give him the Fate's Edict, and then you absolutely cannot do any damage to him. There's no right clickers here. I don't see, if you give Kezu Fate's Edict, I don't see how you can kill him. He doesn't want to right click anybody.
Yeah, so, and they don't have any right click. All they're gonna do is remove like 8 of his base armor. That's it. Their positioning has been so good in every fight. It's always Timbersaw and Slardar in the places where Kaipi is up, very likely to approach from. So just putting them up there is changing everything. Kezu's had an actually amazing game. He's been playing so well. Everybody in Escape has, really.
His stat line doesn't necessarily show it, but yes, I absolutely agree with you. Kezu's having a great game.
He's gonna tank the game.
Yeah, he might. His team's done Roche already, so they can try to turn this around.
And they can sell Exis. It's not over. No, never mind. If they get away, they can.
No Aether Lens for Yapsor, unfortunately. Doesn't have that range. But Era could come in with a Blink Dagger. It's a little too far away, though. Era was looking for that Blink onto Bambo, but it just wasn't quite there. And they'll start the split push now with Limp mid and the rest of the squad down bottom for the time being.
got a Butterfly Moonshard now in Draw Ranger. He ate the Moonshard already, so that increases his attack speed by a huge amount, actually. Still Dragonlance for this, I believe, though his attack range is a little lower, but the important thing is the attack speed is way faster. He gets like 45 attack speed from that. Basically has 100 extra attack speed from the Moonshard and the Butterfly versus the Dragonlance. It's a huge upgrade.
0.38 seconds per attack, so pretty good.
MKB as well, like that, he's constantly going to be mini bashing the Tinker. That's kind of cool that MKB is actually so good against Tinker, really. It lets you hit through laser, and it lets you mini bash if he's rearming.
The only thing that saves the Tinker is this Ghost Scepter right now, and
yeah.
That's the one thing. I would have thought maybe a Diffusal Blade coming out for someone on Escape, but that can come later if they really need it. If that's really becoming a problem, if that Ghost Scepter is really an issue. But not really the best hero to have it on, obviously.
Yeah.
Drow Ranger's not a great Diffusal Blade carrier, so...
I think they're going to be way more concerned about just blowing up Tinker, I think, than diffusing him and Ghost Scepter timings. Or chain stunning him is the solution, really.
I mean, they can do that too. Trust me, they have plenty of damage to do so.
Yeah, it's far better than buying like a Diffusal Blade on either Drow or somebody else on their team. He does take the tower with an easy X here. The way to do this.
Yeah, that was easy. The amount of damage he pumps out. Oh, he did sell his Dragonlance, by the way, so he doesn't have the...
I mentioned that when he bought it. When he bought the Butterfly, he sold the Dragon.
Okay, so yeah, he doesn't have that range advantage of being able to sit a little further back and just push high ground siege it, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
So he has to pick and choose when he goes up to the high ground a bit more carefully.
Yeah, the lineup on Kaipi just looks so good here, but oh wait, they're going in.
There's gonna be the Yules on Bambo as Kazu is hexed up in more ways than one. Yeah. Well, that missile didn't really do much for bo5. However, the laser just blows up the creep wave. They still get the range back. The Earth Splitter might only hit the Apsor. No, he blinks away too. Everyone blinking out of that Earth Splitter, so they'll all make it away. Range back's accomplished.
Blink. When did you get this blink? What the heck?
He's had it for a while.
Okay, I'm just bad.
X marks. They're gonna go in again and look. The stomp misses, and he's doing some serious work. The Yules, Lotus Storm, so. They're going to find the Slithering Crush, and Bambo is gone. Not only that, but 3-3 is dead as well. And Sing Sing about to go down. The sheer right click, he might actually survive here. He will get away with barely any HP. Meanwhile, Kezu's going back in the base. They won't find anybody else. The detection is there, but they quite can't get it. Now they will on Pylon Die. Slithering Crush up with the Tauren on top. Stacking stuns, they don't give a damn. Meanwhile, look at where Sing Sing is. They have vision. Oh, is he gonna die to the creeps? Oh, the Siege creep. He's
oh my god, he's actually gonna die.
Oh my god, the Siege creep. Yes, he did it. The Siege creep, he did it. Back at the base, you can see bo5 has Ghost Sceptered up an Era. Oh, he actually gets hex before getting the Slithering off, but bo5 is still in trouble. The MKB procs and he is done for 103 seconds. Game number 1, and what a game it was. Will go the way of Escape Purge.
Wow, Kaipi's draft looked so strong. Honestly, it really did. The biggest issue was that there was a Kunkka on the enemy team, and it just made Sing Sing so worthless. A couple of those early fights, small mistakes from Sing Sing led to this period of time where he just got his BKB delayed so much. And looking at the game now, I definitely